Morning, y'all. Okay, so today we're going to talk about area of triangles. I want you to get your notebook out and open up to your first clean page. Go ahead and title it Area of Triangles. So if at any point I'm going to quickly, make sure that you pause because I'm just going to work through two problems and explain the formula fairly quickly. So just a heads up, I want to make sure you know that. So if it's going too fast, make sure you pause it so you have time to process. Okay, so first we need to talk about the formula. So there's two ways that you could write the formula. One way is area equals 1/2 times base times height. And I'm actually going to write out what that means. I want you to do the same. Area equals 1/2 times base times height. The other way you could do it is area equals, and I'm going to make that into a fraction. Area equals base times height divided by, there we go, 2. Base times height divided by 2. It ends up really being the same thing. So, you know, I'll show you why you can do it both ways, but they end up being the exact same thing. So let's actually go in and start talking about how to work with the actual shape. So underneath, go ahead and draw yourself a triangle. Whee! Okay, there's a triangle. And let's start to label this. So the first thing I'm going to do is label the bottom. Let's say that's 10 inches. 10 inches. And then I'm going to draw a little line from the very tippity top corner down to the center, down the middle center. So pretty good, not perfect, but pretty good. Anytime you do that and you're drawing a line from a corner of the triangle to the opposite side, also put this little square down here because that's going to tell us that this is actually the height instead of just, hey, there's this line here. And I'm going to say that this is 7 inches. So if I really think about it, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to find the base and the height. So if I were to look at it, the base of my triangle would be the 10 inches, and the height would be 7 inches. Why is that? Well, that's because anytime you're going from, anytime you're going from the corner of a triangle down across to the opposite side, and it makes this kind of like H that you can see right there, that's always going to be the height. Anytime you have a side of your triangle that's perpendicular or at a 90-degree angle or a right angle, that's that little square, that is your base. So let's go through and actually work this out. So I'm going to write my formula down again. Area equals 1/2 times base times height. Let's plug in what those mean. So do I currently know the area? No. So I'm just going to put A. Equals is equals, just like normal. 1/2 is a number. So I'm going to write that number times the base, which we said was 10, times the height, which is 7. Now, there's a couple of different ways you could actually go through solving it. So I'll show you one way and then I'll show you a different way. Some people like to do their multiplication first. So you could do 10 times 7 first. And actually, no, I'm not going to highlight it. I'm going to underline it if I can. There we go. 10 times 7 first. And then we'll come down here and we'll just redo. So area equals 1/2 times 10 times 7 is 70. And at this point, you would keep going with your order of operations and do 1/2 times 70. So area would equal 35. And actually, I have to put the squared in there because that's how this works. 35 inches. Where's the squared at? Oh, I always forget how to do it. 35 inches squared. Sort of. And I'll figure it out one of these days. Here goes. Okay, 35 inches squared. Why squared? Because anytime we do area, it has to be squared. There's two different dimensions. There's a base and a height, and we're going to multiply them. So it's covering a space. Now, if I wanted to do this whole thing over again, I could, and I could actually work it out in a different order. I'm going to show you that. So if I wanted to, I'm just going to rewrite everything. So 1/2 times 10 times 7, right? For that 1/2, some people just panic when they see it. Don't panic. It's all cool. It's the same thing as dividing by 2. So if I wanted to, I could look over at my other two numbers, 10 and 7, and go, can either of these be divided by 2? Yeah. 10 can be divided by 2 super easy. Well, let's do that. Oops, not that. Crazy. That means we would have half of 10 is 5. 5 times 7. Then we would go through and think 5 times 7. Well, let's see. That equals 35 still. So we would still end up with 35 inches squared. It doesn't matter. You can do it either way. Okay. Likewise, I'm going to erase this here. I told you there's another way to do this, and that is area equals, let me go one more space. Area equals base times height, base times height. I have to press enter. I'm learning too, guys, so be patient with me. Base times height divided by 2, right? Okay, so if I were to do this, base times height divided by 2, I'm going to copy it, put it in here again. I'm actually going to switch these in. So the base was 10 times the height, which is 7, right? Well, if I were going to do this, I have to do 10 times 7 first. So I know, let's see, 10 times 7 is 70, divided by 2 or over 2, right? No matter which way I work this out, I still end up with 35 inches squared. Or I'll even just put square inches. That's fine too. No matter what I do, I end up in the same place. Okay? So I'm actually going to go down a few spaces. Whichever way you prefer, if you prefer the first way, the second way, which was the same thing, just doing the 1/2 first, or base times height divided by 2, it doesn't matter. They all end up with the same answer. Okay? I'm going to go down a couple spaces, and I'm going to do a new triangle. If you still have space on your page, awesome. If not, go ahead and flip to your next page so you can draw a new triangle. Let's see, there we go. Let's have it look a little bit wider. Yeah, let's do it like that. Okay, so I'm going to do my height first. So I drew my triangle. I'm going to go from the top of the triangle, or the vertex, the top corner or vertex, down to the bottom middle. And I'm going to put a little right angle in here. So I know that is specifically the height. Okay? And let's start to label this. Let's say that our height, let's say that, let's go with 12 feet. And then let's say my base down here is 22 feet. 22 feet. So I want you to go ahead and just try this on your own. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can work this out. Because really it needs to be you knowing which one's the base and which one's the height, and then plugging it into your formula. That's all that this is. It's just like rectangles, except for there's a 1/2. Okay? So try it on your own. And then when you're done, come back. All right, so hopefully you've tried it by now. I know in this instance the base is 22 feet and the height is 12 feet. So I'm going to work this out. Area equals 1/2 times, 1/2 times base times height. So let's plug this in. I don't currently know the area, so I'm going to put A. Equals is equals, 1/2 is 1/2. Times, the base is 22 feet, and the height is 12 feet. So I'll go through and show you all three ways to work it out. That way, no matter what you chose, it's covered. So first way is to multiply your numbers. Let's see. I need to work that out real quick. Bear with me. I'm going to actually pause the video. That way I can go and work it out. Okay, so I got 264. 264. So I have 1/2 times 264. Then I'm going to do 1/2 times 264, or what's half of 64? 264 divided by 2. Let's see here. I'm going to work that out as well. I'm not going to pause it this time because it shouldn't take too long. So that's 1, 3, and 2. So it should be 132 square feet, or feet squared. Okay, let's say you wanted to do it the other way. Area equals, if I can do it right this time, base times height. Ha! Divided by 2. I learned things. Yay. Okay, so let's plug in everything that we know. I don't know the area. Equals is equals. All right, so let's see. The base is 22, and the height is 12. And I'm going to divide all of that by 2. Here we go. I don't know why that's underlined all of a sudden. Here we go. So let's see. That turns out to be 264 divided by 2. And that's still going to give me 132 square inches, or inches squared. The last option is if you wanted to do this, but in a different order, which is absolutely fine. So I'm going to show you that as well. Area equals 1/2 times 22 and 12. So let's say you wanted to do this first, right? Absolutely fine. So here we go. Area equals, let's see, half of 22 is 11. I'm going to bring the 12 down. Area equals 132. So no matter what you do, you should end up in the exact same spot. So hopefully that helps. I hope you got your notes in so that you've got time to actually go back and reference. Go practice, and best of luck. I can't wait to see how you do.